Hey, all right. Today I want to talk about people pleasing, the fork in the road, and the life you're living now. Here's the deal. I'm attempting to record while I do this, but I had some epiphanies the last couple days because you look at your life and you ask yourself, what the hell have I been doing with myself? Right? Okay, I asked myself that. Nobody else has to
The
ask.
hell have
I
I been
oh,
doing
this
with
is so loud.
myself?
Hold on.
Right?
I'm trying to pull this up, make sure I was clear. So I'm attempting to do the dual looking, doing this and this. So I'm multitasking a little bit, but good multitasking because I want to record this because the live doesn't save. I ask myself, and you can ask yourself the same thing. How did I end up here? And when you ask yourself, how did I end up here? It's not to be dramatic. It's the fact that I look back and I would have told myself a long time ago that I'm not a people pleaser. I ended up digging a little bit deeper, pulling up how many different ways we can people please. And when I looked it up, I was kind of, you know how you say you think you're not something, you think you don't do something, and then when it turns out you are like the same person you judged other people for doing. And here's the deal: we always, I'm going to tell you, worry about yourself and look at yourself before you judge anybody else. But the truth is, we really need to take a look at what we're doing. I'm going to link that. Um, I created a document. I'm going to link it to this video so you can see it and show you what it is, the your identification of a people pleaser is, and what the vast definition is, because there's so many different things for people pleasing. And in reality, ask yourself, how did you make a life decision based on somebody else? Because I'm going to tell you, I believe I did. When I looked at the list of people pleasing, one of the things was being nice, being too nice to tell somebody something. And when you look at that, it's like the me then. Yes, I played that game where, okay, I'm not going to hurt your feelings, but I really don't want to do this, but I'm going to say yes. Now I'm like, no, I have no interest in doing that. And I'm okay with that. But we have to get to a point where we're okay with being okay with saying, I'm not interested in supporting that. I love you, but no, thank you. No, thank you. And be okay with that. So, with that, you say people pleasing is just people who do things that people, when you want to say yes, when you don't want to, you say yes when you want to say no. But that's I'm gonna pull it up. Hold on, let me pull it up because I feel as though we need to talk about very specifics. People pleasing. So, hmm, where's my thing at? I don't know where it went. Hold on, I have something somewhere else. Pause for the cause for a second. I'm gonna pull it up. Um, that's not the right one. Don't put me. Hold on. I'm pulling it up because I want to be very specific. I don't want to make stuff up, because I want to make stuff up, I start to ad lib and I start to add more stuff and I get on focus and I get all over the place. And really, that's my nervous system catching up to what I'm doing, because at this point in our life, we need to start paying attention to what our nervous system can handle. And with trauma, with anything that we've been through in life, when we start to acknowledge the fact that we people please, we do a lot of different things because of the fact that our bodies have been in a I want to say shit show, but whatever it is for you, your body. Okay, so here's the deal. We have the topics, there's 7 different ways: the loud and obvious one, the responsible adult disguise, the emotional shapeshifter, the silent strategy, the overgiving loop, the hyper self awareness, the I'm just being kind lie. And then for me, it was the I'm just being kind. Now, here's the deal. Let me back up. Yesterday, I had an epiphany. Me telling myself, looking at all these things and how my life played out. we all come to a fork in the road when we have a decision. And sometimes we want to decide, we want to blame somebody else for the decision we make instead of owning the responsibility of the part we played in it. For a long time, I'm going to tell you, I said, and I'm sure everybody else has this trap, that person stole my joy. This person made me unhappy. I was unhappy because I was this. I was unhappy because I this. I'm unhappy with this. I'm unhappy with that because somebody else played a part in my unhappiness. In the end, I'm going to tell you, we are all responsible for our own happiness. You don't get to blame anybody else because you want to show up unhappy. Yes, the world around you sometimes may play a part in it because of the visual aspect, but you have the choice every single day to say, I will not play a part in that because that does not bring me joy. I want you to understand that every single time you choose, because we all have the option, we all have the ability to choose every single day. It's what are you choosing? So back to the people pleasing. For me, mine was, I'm just being kind, right? And then if your kindness comes with resentment, exhaustion, anxiety, or self-betrayal, that's people pleasing. Now, the most common one is the emotional shapeshifter, right? Or I really want to say it's two of them, the loud and obvious ones, the ones that say yes when you want to say no, over explaining your decisions, analyzing for things that aren't your fault, agreeing to just avoid the tension, and prioritizing other needs. For me, that prioritizing other people's needs pops up as a big one because we all choose. Hear me when I tell you, you choose to want to be that person. And yes, can we choose differently? Absolutely. You get to choose every single day if you want to be in that horrible ass relationship, if you want to be at that horrible ass job, everything you do in life, you get to choose. But here's the deal. When you look at your life, ask yourself, what are you choosing? What did you choose to get you here? My thing was yesterday, I looked back and I was like, when I was stationed in Germany, the base was closing. And I asked, they had a guaranteed list. They had a list that said, we can go to the place. They had two choices. You are guaranteed to go to one of these places. If you put your name on the guaranteed list, this is where you're going to go. I was being cute. The third option was, you get to leave your name off the list and get what the military gives you. Well, me being cute, I was like, I want to go to the one because it was Scott Air Force Base, Illinois, and Langley, Virginia. I wanted to go to Virginia because it was close to my mother. I could go back home. I could go anywhere in that vicinity. And I don't know whose quotes are better. Do you recommend Marines? No, I don't. My brother's in the Marines and I really don't. I honestly, not to knock anybody else's branch, but for me, the Marines don't treat you good enough. And I believe the Air Force is the best. I was in the Air Force. So, okay. Left my name off the list, the guaranteed list, and decided to play the luck of the draw. Well, the luck of the draw did not work out for me. And I regretted not putting my name on the list. But when I went back, it was not an option anymore. The Virginia list closed. Then I thought to myself, well, maybe it was a reason, right? There was a reason I chose this and there's a reason I ended up going to Illinois. Yes, but here's the deal. I had an option. I'm the one who chose to leave my name off the list. Yes, God may had a bigger plan, me leaving my name off the list, than me not going to Langley. All the things played a part, but I have to ask myself now, if I had chose to put my name on the guaranteed list, where would I be now? Because we all choose. We have a choice. So going back to it, I don't know where I would have been, but every path that we get to choose to go on, there's a different outcome, but it's always in God's plan for our life. But you get to decide. We get to decide today if we are going to allow what's happened in our life affect us to the point where we stop, or we're going to choose to go forward and allow ourselves to be committed to us. Now, here's the deal. Here's the kicker. Your nervous system will not let you do more than you're capable of because it's not to make you successful. It is to protect you. So every single time you make a decision, you can buy the journal, you can buy the course, you can spend all this money on all the things. If your nervous system doesn't feel safe enough to move forward, it's going to pull you back. Hence why we're always like, oh, we take 10 steps forward and then we take 20 steps back, because your nervous system is protecting you. You all of a sudden get exhausted. You all of a sudden get confused. It's not that you're not good. It's not that you don't have the dedication, the motivation, the whatever. It's the fact that your nervous system cannot keep up with what you're trying to do right now. Now, the question is, do I just stop? What do I do? You make the steps smaller. You make the thing you want to do smaller. Stop allowing yourself to be overwhelmed, because we create our own overwhelm. And I'm going to tell you now, anybody that believes that that's a lie, I would like to debate that, because at this point, you have a choice to put all the things that you're putting on your plate. You have a choice to say, today is the day I do this, and you take that one step. Everybody has the opportunity to do and be more. We just choose to allow ourselves to get overwhelmed with the things in our lives. Am I telling you that you're not going to be successful tomorrow? No. But I'm telling you that if you decide you want to do 100 things, I'm going to tell you, I'll be the first to tell you, I used to be a nasty multitasker. Is that a real thing? No, because we cannot accomplish 100 things at once. We have to take it step by step. So if you decide today that you're going to take that one step towards that goal, and I always talk about my mind map. Look at my mind map. The big goal in the middle and the steps you're going to take to get there. This right here, look at it as walking upstairs. The bottom of the step is where you're going to start. You're going to take a step each day to get to the top. When you get to the top, at this point, you get to decide how many steps you take at once. But if you cannot take one step and skip 2 steps, what's going to always happen? You're going to come back down to the bottom, because skipping that step, you may fall. But if you take it step by step, will your first step be as successful as you want to be? It's up to you. The thing you choose to do has to be in alignment with what you want. And if it's not, then you're going to miss the step every time. But here's the deal. We have the opportunity. We have the ability to create the life we want to live. It's just, what are you allowing yourself to create? Chaos? Or are you allowing yourself to be stuck in the same place all the time? There's always a different, there could be 5 roads you can go down. Which road do you choose? It's always going to end up being in alignment with what you do. But I'm going to tell you, sometimes we want to take the hard road. Sometimes we don't want to listen. Sometimes we choose the rough and bumpy road. Somebody could tell us, hey, those 5 roads, don't go down it. This one here is the clear path to where you want to go. What are you going to decide? Some of us, daredevils, we're going to choose the bumpy road, because we're like, well, I'm not going to trust you, because I don't trust that you have my best interest. But in reality, we all have the ability to shift and change and show up differently. It's just, what are you choosing? What do you choose to do today that will get you where you want to go? What else did I want to talk about today? Now, let me see. We were talking about the responsible adult. This one is feeling mature, noble, even virtuous, but they still people please. So taking on extra work so no one is disappointed, being the reliable one even when you're exhausted, fixing the problem no one asked you to fix, managing other people's emotions, and holding everything together so things don't fall apart. Now, this says this isn't leadership, it is self-abandonment, wearing a blazer. So we give reasons to why we want to do things and how we show up. But in the end, I'm going to tell you, I'm a judger. I looked at other people, and because their people pleasing was so the way their people pleasing looked was more aware than mine. But it's the same thing, same concept. We are still people pleasing. No matter which way you twist or turn it, you're people pleasing. Now, The emotional shapeshifter. Here's the deal. I'm going to tell you that I'm an empath. And a lot of the things that I do, I go into life and I feel, and I didn't know growing up that I was an empath. So I lost out on a lot of things because of the feelings I had that somebody else told me I should have. Now, in the end, if I could change it now, you know how you ask yourself, if you could go back and change one thing, would you change it? We really can't go back and change it. We could just shift how we show up now and not worry about the past, because where we're living now is in the current. So in the end, if you walk forward in the path that you were given and don't make the regret that you didn't make the specific choice, just shift how you show up now. Everything in our life is shifting how we show up. Everything we do is shifting how we show up. So the most damaging one of the people pleasers is the silent strategy. You don't do anything wrong. You just don't do what you need to do. You're not asking for help, not expressing your needs, not correcting misunderstandings, not speaking up until resentment builds. Here's the deal. A lot of us, we go through life assuming people should know what we want, right? We get into relationships and something you don't like right now. You started the relationship, you know 1000% you do not like that thing that person does, but you continue to stay because you're like, it will get better. I've already told them I don't like it. But here's the deal. You teach people how to treat you. And if you don't teach somebody how to treat you the way you want to be treated, they're going to treat you the way they want to treat you. And then in the end, you're mad because of the fact that you're going to say that they don't care about your feelings and all the things that come up when people say, I told them I don't like this. But really, did you tell them, or you stated it and said, this is something I don't like? And when they kept doing it, you just kept brushing it off. Like, oh, that was just a mistake. That was this, that was that. You find a reason to make an excuse for what somebody did to you. I'm going to tell you again, you have the opportunity to create the life you want to live. You have the opportunity to show up differently for you. It's what you accept. Accept is what people will continue to do. Don't let people make a sly, slick ass comment and then you're mad because they made that comment and then you didn't check them. Check that madness at the door and allow yourself to own who you are and what you want. Because in the end, every single time you allow somebody else to dictate how you show up, they're in charge of you. And at this point, you get to decide today if you don't want to deal with anything anymore. And then, don't let somebody tell you, where did this come from? And sometimes this is something I had to learn really, 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 really late in life. There is more peace and understanding in being calm when you say something. I'm going to tell you, it took me a very long time to learn not how to snap off and just take a breath. Take a breath before you respond, because at the end of everything, what I learned being married for 11 years, we are now divorced, is that person knew how to trigger me and push my buttons. But if I had got a handle on my triggers and my buttons from the beginning, he wouldn't have been able to trigger and push my buttons. My nervous system is why my buttons were able to be triggered and pushed, because I didn't handle what was going on I didn't get clear on who I was before I continue to be in a situation where I was unhappy. And here's the deal. We choose every day to stay in unhappiness. We choose every single day to be in a place where it does not serve us. In the end, you choosing your choice to stay is your fault. Now, here's the deal. Somebody gonna come back and say, well, I have all these things wrapped up and I have all this, we built this life together. So friggin' what? Just because you build a life with somebody and you're staying because it's easier to stay, but is it really easier on you? Because now your nervous system, nobody ever pays attention to how their nervous system is affected by staying unhappy and miserable in a place. We always say we could do bad by ourselves. It's the truth. You can do so much worse by yourself, but you choose to partner in unhappiness with somebody. You're deciding to be unhappy because it's convenient. You're staying at your job. You're staying in a relationship. You're staying at whatever it is you're doing because it's convenient for you to be in that place. Never partner with misery. When you partner with misery, that's what you're going to always be. And then your nervous system is going to always keep you stuck because misery is your baseline. You've made it okay to be miserable. The moment you stop and decide, I do not want to be miserable, I don't want to be your partner, is the moment you take control. But now from that moment, you're going to always have to be mindful of your nervous system because your nervous system is going to try to protect you. It's okay to stay. It's just, it's 2 days out of the week you're miserable. Don't put a number on your misery. Stop being okay with being miserable. We stay in relationships, we stay in situations so long that, hey, we stay in relationships, we stay in situations so long. And in the end, you have to ask yourself, what is it I want out of this? And here's the deal. I'm going to tell you, stop putting your triggers on other people. Stop letting what has triggered you and what your experience was. Stop putting that shit on somebody else, because what you went through, yes, you could tell them, hey, this is what I went through. Sometimes people don't give a damn, but stop allowing yourself to be dictated by somebody else's experience. Live your own life, live how you live, and allow yourself to understand what triggers you, what you want, what you don't want. Stop jumping from relationship to relationship, not figuring out who you are, because when you jump from one place to another, you're looking for somebody else to fill the void in yourself that you have to fill yourself. We're always looking for somebody else to give us the thing that we're missing. They're not going to give it to you. And you can jump from one person to the next person to the next person, one job from the next job to the next job, one thing to the next thing to the next thing. You got the squirrel effect going on. But in the end, you have to figure out what you want before somebody else can help you. I'm going to tell you, a lot of people are looking for somebody else to do something that you need to do for yourself. We can't expect people to show up for us more than we're willing to show up for ourselves. And in the end, here's the deal. We started off talking about people pleasing. We started off talking about how we have the choice, but in the end, you still have to figure out what you want to do before any of that can flow. Because we spend so much time pretending. Listen, I'm going to tell you, I dabbled in the things I knew I was supposed to do, and then I still ended up being in a mess because I dabbled in who I was and what I wanted. I allowed myself to be limited by other people's idea and thoughts about what I should be doing. Why people think they have the control, or they get to control how you show up in life? Why? Because society has made us think that everybody else gets a say in our life, and in the end, you're just mad and upset and unhappy. And I'm going to talk to women right now. We walk around bitter and unhappy because we allow somebody else to dictate how we show up. We walk around with this resting bitch face because we allowed somebody to do something to us. We allow people to disrespect us. And it could be like a small thing, but it's still disrespect if you twist and turn it up and down. But because we're people pleasers and we have not identified that we are people pleaser, we allow disrespect. We allow bullshit to happen. We allow ourselves to be just disregarded. And in the end, if you let yourself be disregarded by anything and anybody else, it's your fault. You allowed yourself to be in that place. You allowed yourself to be, I'm going to say, limited to your potential, because now you have that identity in your head of that's what you can do no better, right? You allowed yourself to be something you're not. And now that's the identity you're living in now. So you go from people pleasing to not choosing what you truly want, to just being. And then when people ask you, you're like, man, I really wish I could have did this better. You don't have to wish, do it. Everything you do in your life, you get to decide. It is, what are you choosing for you? That's the reality, right? That is the reality of what it is. Let me see if I can link the thing to the people pleasing in here. I don't know what's happening right now. This thing is next. This thing is trying to get me to learn that it has something new. I don't want to learn it. Oh God, no, I done click learn more. See, that's what happens. What happens when you start clicking stuff? Hold on, guys. Hold on, I'm coming. I don't know, because this is good. You need to figure out what your. Here it is. Okay, hold on. This phone ain't working with me. It is not working with me at all. But I'm going to pin it in the comments. Hold on. It's coming. 2 seconds. Okay, maybe more than 2 seconds. I'm lying. 2 seconds. Pasted. Done. See? In the comments. It took me more than 2 seconds. It's going to be in the comments. Look at it and see what ways you're people pleasing. And I also linked my 3-day nervous system reset in that also. So you could look at what is it you need to do to shift and show up differently, how you show up. I'm going to pin it. There we go. So everything we do, everything we say to ourselves is the belief that we have. We get to create the life we want to live in everything we do. It's just now, which road are you going to take, and what are you going to release that you know that no longer serves you? And in reality, what decision do you make today that will get you where you want to be and how you want to show up for you? So I would love for you to share with somebody. You can share with me, share with somebody, share with me, comment in the below. What is it you want to do today for you that will shift how you show up today? And what are you committing to and keeping that shift? That 3-day nervous system reset will help you with that commitment, because now you're regulating your nervous system. Your nervous system has to be regulated before you can take that step forward. Because at this point in our life, we can keep making excuses for why we're showing up the way we are, or we could actually show up how we want to really truly show up. I'm going to get off of here. I will see you tomorrow, and I hope you have an amazing day.